The Tall in Texas Award is given to an individual nominated from our membership for their outstanding contributions to travel and tourism and to TTIA. This year's recipient was born in Chile in 1957. He's somewhat known and respected by many. As the old saying goes, he wasn't born in Texas, but he got here as fast as he could. This man first came to the United States for his senior year in high school in an exchange student program, and he never left. He worked a local politician, which won't surprise anybody that knows him, to get an education grant to allow him to attend college at the University of Texas at El Paso. There he obtained his bachelor's degree in journalism, and he also met his wife while he was there. While in El Paso, or after El Paso, in graduation, he moved to Harlingen for 3 years, where he managed 3 different malls in Brownsville, McAllen, and Harlingen. In 1987, Marco moved his entire family, Marco Barros, moved his entire family to San Antonio, Texas, where he developed the grand opening and marketing plans for the River Center Mall. He also spent 3 years with American Airlines as a sales consultant, developing new routes, marketing programs, etc. He traveled extensively through Latin America, from Chile to Mexico, assisting various businesses with setting up different operations and different ventures. Marco also worked with Freightliner Tours in San Antonio and exceeded $2 million in annual charted sales. While all of this is impressive, the way that we all know Marco is as the face of travel and tourism for San Antonio, Texas, thanks to the position that he has held since 1998, which is President and CEO of the San Antonio Tourism Council. I always tell everybody, this organization is the TTIA of San Antonio. It is the one organization that looks after every aspect of our industry. And it was the very first time that the industry in San Antonio could speak with one unified voice. And for 15 years, that voice has been Marco Barros. He works tirelessly with our city council, the mayor, the city staff, the delegation of the state legislature to ensure that all of our needs are met on behalf of San Antonio as well as the entire state. Marco has worked on efforts to support industry scholarships, the San Antonio Adult Learning Center's Cruising for Literacy, which has become our excuse to party every year and has turned into the Cruising for Tourism event. He was also involved in the initial efforts to help create a PGA Village, and while that failed, he stayed involved, keeping the ball moving down the field, and it eventually was one of the reasons, Marco was one of the reasons why today we have the JW Marriott Resort. Marco, along with many others in San Antonio, worked to extend our venue tax, which has paid for the expansion of the Riverwalk north and south, and has funded the creation of many youth sports complexes, as well as the Performing Arts Center. His involvement with TTIA has included serving on the board, on the membership committee, on various other committees, coming to all the events like we have today, and being one of our leaders. Recently, Marco and I traveled on the San Antonio, the Chamber's SA to DC trip, which is our little converge in DC. And as a result of some of those efforts, Marco was a key point of helping bring global entry to the San Antonio airport. So I know all the visitors that come through there have Marco to thank for it, and they don't even know it. Marco pretty much knows everyone, and if you need something done in San Antonio, you just call Marco. I can tell you he has helped my businesses on numerous occasions. When we were under construction, we built our Ripley's Haunted Adventure in 2002, and I just had a lovely time with the city and getting to go through that process. And that's a whole other story at the bar one night. And I had it, and we were building a business every year for almost 5 or 6 years. And I got to meet this guy named Marco, who I was complaining to about the struggles that there are trying to get things through the city, permits, etc. There is no sense of urgency when, from their side while I stress out. So Marco said, "Oh, no problem, come with me." So we walked into the planning development. He walked into the room with the guy and the guy had my permit on his desk. And he saw Marco, "Hey Marco, yeah," just filled it out again. I'm like, "Well, where was this guy when I was building the Haunted Adventure?" That was great. The other story I've got is last year at the Converge, we went to visit Jose Menendez, and the room was packed with people you couldn't even get in, and the staff said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, we didn't have an appointment. The representative was too busy." Okay, well, I understand. So I'm like packing up, ready to go on to the next room. Marco goes, "Stop, come here." He stands outside, he picks up the cell phone, he calls him, and Jose Menendez comes running out of his office. And his staff's all like, "You just got those big old eyes." And I thought, that's great, that's Great, that's good stuff. Marco's been asked to speak to various CBBs, chambers, economic development groups on the impact of travel and tourism in our communities. He's even been invited to speak in Poland and across Mexico on how the San Antonio Tourism Council has become so effective and how it's organized. Although I must mention, without Linda, his longtime assistant, Marco probably would suck. She helps keep him straight and makes him look real good. Marco and his wife, Effie, have been married for 32 years. They have 2 sons, Mark and Tommy, and I know he's so very proud of them. Marco has a passion for soccer. He spends most of his weekends involved in that and was recently recognized as Volunteer of the Year by the South Texas Youth Soccer Association. Somehow, Marco even wrangled himself into this picture with the President of Chile and ended up being named Honorary Consul of Chile in 2013. All of this while working to advocate and strengthen travel and tourism across our city and this great state. Please help me welcome my friend and this year's recipient, Marco Barros.
I'm just trying to hide my glasses.
Boy, I can tell you, this is a huge surprise. I did not expect this at all. So, a few tears of happiness, but I got to tell you, I'm completely surprised. Thank you very much.
We have a few people from Linda, Effie, Tom, Bill, y'all come on up here.
Marco's fan.
The one that helps Marco not suck is Linda. And his wife, which I'm sure accomplishes that as well.
Bill and Tom? I don't know, how would you pick this? Awesome. Thank you.
What makes this award, in my mind, somewhat special, very special actually, is that while the nominations come from our membership, the selection